You have 4,000 weeks on this planet, give or take. That's your whole life. Most people waste half of them being unsure. Clarity isn't a luxury. It's how you stop burning time you'll never get back. Because here's the truth: indecision feels harmless, like you're being thoughtful, cautious, responsible. But it's not harmless. It's a slow leak, a silent thief. It steals your energy, your confidence, your time. And the worst part? Most people don't realize they're doing it until it's already cost them years. We are drowning in choices, paralyzed by options, haunted by the fear of making the wrong move like our whole life is some high stakes Jenga tower that'll collapse if we pick the wrong brunch spot. And here's the kicker: clarity is not something you wait for, it's not delivered in the mail. You don't wake up one day and go, ah, yes, today I'm finally clear. Clarity is a decision. You choose it, you make it, you declare it like war. And if you don't, life will make your choices for you. Slowly, quietly, without your permission. And then one day, you'll wake up in a life you didn't consciously create, filled with jobs you settled for, relationships you tolerated, and dreams you politely set on fire. And you'll wonder, how the hell did I get here? The answer? You were vague. You were waiting. You were maybeing. And let me tell you, maybe is where dreams go to suffocate. Every single person I know who's stuck, anxious, chronically exhausted, not really sure what they're doing with their life, they all have one thing in common. They aren't clear. Not about what they want, not about what matters, not about what they're done tolerating. They're living like it's a group project with no leader, hoping something or someone makes the first move so they don't have to. But here's what nobody tells you: being unclear is not neutral. It's destructive, because indecision feels safe, but it's secretly expensive as hell. In lost time, in missed opportunities, in confidence you never built because you were too busy Googling other people's opinions. We act like getting clear means we need more information, more books, more podcasts, more bullet journals. But honestly, clarity rarely comes from adding more. It comes from cutting away, subtraction, saying no, saying hell no. Clarity is messy, it's scary, but it's also magnetic as hell. And people feel it on you when you have it. There's a power that shows up when you finally stop waffling and just own your damn mind. But most of us were raised to doubt ourselves before we even open our mouths. We were trained to outsource confidence, get validation. Don't be too much. Don't rock the boat. Don't say you want something unless you can prove you deserve it. So we hesitate. We hesitate our way into mediocre careers, lukewarm love lives, and endless therapy loops where we're not even sure what we're trying to fix anymore. And then we wonder why we feel like background characters in our own lives. Because you can't live a bold life while whispering your truth. I'll tell you a story. This one hits. Years ago, I had a friend. Brilliant. Funny. She could light up a room and break your brain open with a sentence. But she was always waiting. Waiting for a sign. Waiting until she felt ready. Waiting until she had all the answers. I asked her once what she really wanted. Like, really wanted. She laughed. Said, I don't know. I said, no, you do know. You just don't want to say it out loud because then it becomes real. And if it's real, you're responsible for it. She got quiet, real quiet. And then she said the thing she'd never said before. It cracked something open. You could feel the air shift, she got clear, and within a year, she had changed her whole damn life. Not because she had a step-by-step plan, but because she finally said the thing, out loud, like she meant it, like she was done lying to herself. That's where the shift starts. Not in action, not in hustle. In truth, being unclear is easy. It gives you something to hide behind. I'm still figuring it out sounds noble. But let's be honest, a lot of the time, that just means I'm scared to go all in on what I already know. Because if you go all in, you might fail. And if you fail, you might prove every worst-case scenario in your head right. But what if I told you that not choosing is still a choice? That waffling is just failure on a slow drip. I'm not saying clarity means having your whole life figured out. It's not about having a 5-year plan with color-coded tabs and motivational quotes taped to your mirror. It's about owning what's true for you today, even if it's scary, even if no one claps, even if it makes you the weird one in the group chat. Because the minute you stop negotiating with your own truth, you become dangerous in the best way. Let's talk about overthinkers for a second. You know who you are. You think about a thing until the thing has mutated into a hydra made of what ifs. You consult 5 friends, 3 tarot cards, your therapist, and your dog, and you still don't decide. You go to sleep mentally exhausted from the war in your head. But guess what? You're not actually indecisive. You're just afraid of consequences, of picking wrong, of regretting it later. So you stay in limbo, comfortable misery, low-level dread dressed up as being careful. But here's the truth bomb. You can handle regret. What you can't handle is a life unlived. That quiet itch that follows you into every room. That feeling in your gut that something's off, but you can't quite name it. That's the price of not being clear. And don't even get me started on people-pleasing. You ever feel like you're living 10 versions of yourself depending on who you're around? You've got work you, family you, Instagram you, and that version of you that exists only to keep the peace, even when you're seething inside. That's not kindness. That's self-abandonment. And it comes from not being clear on where you end and others begin. Clarity is boundaries. Clarity is saying, this is who I am, and I'm not shrinking to make you comfortable. It's choosing you even if nobody claps. Because the more clear you are, the more your life becomes a filter. The wrong people bounce. The right ones stay. And they respect the hell out of your honesty. Now, let's get raw for a second. You ever stare at your ceiling at 2 a.m. and just feel numb? Like your life is full, but your soul feels empty? You've checked the boxes, done the things, but deep down you're like, this can't be it. That's your clarity trying to scream through the noise. But it's buried under shoulds, buried under what other people told you success looks like. And the scariest part is, you might be good at the wrong life. You might be thriving at something that isn't you. And no one will know because you look fine on paper. But you'll know. That's why clarity isn't a luxury. It's survival. So how do you get clear? You decide to. That's it. You stop asking for permission. You stop editing yourself mid-sentence. You stop pretending you don't know what you want just because wanting it feels selfish or unrealistic or scary. You get still. You listen. And you say the thing. I want this. I'm done with that. This is who I am now. You make it real. You name it. And then you act like it's already true. Clarity changes everything. It changes how you move, how you speak, who you attract, what you tolerate. You walk into rooms differently. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't get it. You stop over-apologizing. You stop ghosting your own desires because they're inconvenient. And suddenly, life starts aligning. Not because it got easier, but because you stopped being vague. Let me leave you with this. Imagine a version of you that is so damn clear on your values, your boundaries, your direction, that you never second-guess yourself again. Not because you're always right, but because you trust yourself to figure it out. Imagine how magnetic that version of you is. How powerful, how free. That version of you isn't some fantasy. It's one bold decision away. It starts with saying, this is who I am. This is what I want. And I'm done living in the maybe. This one's for the version of you that's ready to stop drifting, to stop doubting, to stop hiding your clarity under a blanket of fake confusion. You're not confused. You're just scared to own how powerful your knowing really is. But it's time. Say the thing. Make the call. Burn the maybe. Be so clear you don't second guess anything. And watch what happens when life finally meets you at your level. Let's go.